This is the Brazilian edition from Teeling's Explorer series. So if you're exploring the world, keep an eye out for it.
Welcome back to the channel. I'm Matt and I'm the Whiskey Nerd.
I'm Rose and I'm the Whiskey Noob.
And before you tell us all about this whiskey, let me get it into the glass and then you can tell us all about it.
Yeah, it's a good whiskey.
So this, like you said, it's Teeling's Brazilian edition of their Explorer series.
Yeah.
So Rose, tell me about this whiskey because this is actually one you bought by yourself.
Yeah, I bought it by myself. So I was traveling back from London to Dublin at Gatwick Airport, and I was picking up a Japanese whiskey for a certain fella over here, when as I was walking out, I passed by two fellas named Aiden and Vinny, who were like commenting on the whiskey a little bit, and so then we had a little bit of chat about Japanese whiskey, and I was like, do you got some time to try some whiskey? And I was like, I sure do.
You've always got time to try some whiskey.
Always have time, especially when you meet like another whiskey enthusiast in the wild. Of course you have time to try and chat about whiskey. We're gonna pause the story for a bit, but let's get into the whiskey first.
Yeah, so this is from Teeling. It's a single malt whiskey. It's 12 years old. It was aged in bourbon cask and then finished in Amburana wood casks.
It's so sweet.
Yeah, which is the wood they use to make cachaca. If you're having like an aged cachaca, it was aged in Amburana wood, and it gives it this really nice kind of rich, spicy note.
Yeah.
It also comes in at 46% ABV, so it should have a nice bit of weight in the glass. But let's get in for the nose on this because it is quite unique. Yeah, it's
sweet and spicy.
Yeah, like this whiskey honestly smells like a carrot cake. Like it sounds weird, but it smells like a carrot cake. You got the vanilla, you got like a bit of cardamom, you got some cloves, you got some cinnamon, and you got
those are the good spices to name there. It's not just like general like pumpkin spices or you know apple, pie kind of spices. These are like very specific spices in there.
And there's that little bit of, because carrots are sweet, there's kind of like a deeper sweetness. It's not like a rich kind of candied kind of sugar
not
sweetness,
a high sugar
but like
kind of
kind of a deeper end of the sugar. Really nice, spicy, lots of vanilla.
Yeah.
Like it is a single malt. It's 12 years old as well, but it doesn't really smell malty.
No.
Like, sometimes with malt you'll get like a biscuit.
Yeah.
You get a kind of maybe a fruitiness, but it's
And I don't think I'm usually a big fan of malt, so I was kind of surprised by this because we all know I love the single grains.
You love single grains.
Yeah.
When it's a single malt, you like them when they're like wine finished or like this, where there's something else there that's not just the base of malt.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good bit on the nose, but let's go in for the palate because it really does deliver.
Yeah. Oh my god, the sweetness just follows through. Oh my god, my mouth is just watering.
Yeah, it's so sweet. It's very much like a carrot cake with that icing sugar on top. Like the nose, it wasn't really heavily like candied sugar sweetness, but then when you get into the palate, it's a lot of like that buttercream vanilla frosting, but still with that cardamom, with that cinnamon, with that kind of nutmeg, with those spices you'd associate with like a carrot cake. Really nice and rich.
And this is how it got me to buy it.
So how did they convince you, other than it being a really tasty whiskey, how did they convince you to buy it?
Well, first of all, it's not like he was just throwing out whiskeys there and be like, this is what you should like. He was like, so what kind of whiskey do you like? I always appreciate being asked because like everyone's, has different opinions and different likes and dislikes. So he asked me what kind of whiskey I like, and I was like generally like, oh, single grain, kind of sweet, all of that. And he brought this one. I think this might have been either the first or second one that he had me taste, and I was just enamored with it immediately. Absolutely immediately. And I would never have bought it otherwise.
So this is also an airport exclusive, right?
It is.
Yeah, so their Explorer series are airport exclusives, and you'll get different countries at different times.
Like you go to London, you get Brazilian. You can see the flag right there.
And they're very distinctive because they do have the flag of the country on it, so it is very nice. You will be able to get different ones, but this is really, really nice.
It is really good. Like honestly, if you see this, you need to get it. It's a very sweet, like an in-depth sweetness. Got the spices, malty. Like you could give this to anyone and I think they would absolutely love it.
Yeah, and I think let's go in for the finish this time, talk about what lingers last, because I'm getting a little bit of the maltiness on the finish. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so on the finish, obviously you got that lovely vanilla, you got that lovely bit of like those spices there lingering on, but then as those kind of start fading a little bit, you get a little bit of the oak spice coming through, maybe a little bit of char.
Yeah.
And then after all those fade away, that base of malt does shine through. After like that sweetness fades off a little bit, you do get like a little bit of like a cakey note, not more like a biscuity note, but like a cakey note, like that kind of sweet grainy kind of bready, not really bready, but like kind of sweet, kind of baked, something baked.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I just swallowed a carrot cake.
Yeah.
I definitely do get a bit of like that charred oak kind of taste. Maybe less on the malt for me because probably I don't drink a ton of malt, so I probably can't really recognize it as well. But I do end it with a little bit of char, and I quite like it.
And that is something that's good because you would want a whiskey that's featuring Amburana wood to be tasting
the wood.
to taste a bit different. Exactly. You would want the Brazilian edition to have that. You wouldn't want to have like a hint of Amburana wood influence. You want it to have a good bit of Amburana wood influence, and it really does shine through with a lot of the influence there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're ever going through Gatwick, make sure to stop by where the whiskey is because that's where Aiden and Vinny hang out, and they're so nice, so chatty and fun and knowledgeable about whiskey. Yeah. Aiden gave me the whiskey tasting, and that's how I got this bottle. Wouldn't have gotten it otherwise. So make sure to stop by them, Aiden and Vinny at Gatwick Airport.
Yeah, and if you want to see more videos like this, we put out reviews on Wednesdays. We put out cocktail recipes on Fridays. So if you want to see more, make sure you scroll down, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button. I think we're going to keep on enjoying our glass of whiskey, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.